Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. In this deck experimentation video I'm going to show a brew that wasn't completely successful. It's a take on Spiteful Mage. Spiteful Mage is a niche archetype that hovers around 50% win rate, unable to really climb a whole lot. And I thought maybe I can do better. Maybe I can build a Spiteful Mage around a dragon core. Typically, Spiteful Mages are built more on a bit of an elemental core, so they run stuff like Fireflies, but there's also stuff like Giggling Inventors and Fungal Mancers. But when you have a slow start, it's kind of difficult to get the Giggling Invent, Fungal Mancer stuff going on very well and to actually win games with that. So I figured I will try a little bit of a different approach. This was encouraged by my experimentation on Spiteful Priest, which is naturally a dragon-based deck, and it's actually a good deck, by the way. It's definitely a playable deck. And you don't have access to Duskbreaker. Well, of course, if you had access to Duskbreaker, going dragons would be a no-brainer. But you do have access to another card that was very successful for me when I was playing Dragon Priest, and that is Scaleworm. So I'm ditching a little bit of those less powerful minions that can maybe stall some games, and I'm trying to go for a strategy that enables me to play powerful minions in the relatively early game and try to use those to swing and then the Spitefuls to finally seal the deal. Scaleworm, with its rush ability, is often able to bring you back into a game and into the board, because say 5-4 rush on turn 4, it usually goes 2 for 1. It kills a minion when it comes in, and then it needs to be traded into or something like that, and that 5 attack almost guarantees a kill on that regard as well. So that's one piece of the puzzle. And in a dragon build, alternative turn 4 is rather weak for your opponent. You can do stuff like Twilight Drake. So you can also build some pretty credible threats on the board and then use them when you go on. And also, because this type of deck does want to make use of Jaina, Frostless Jaina is simply a very strong card. In a dragon build it's easy to slip in a Syndragos as well. So Syndragos gives you a ton of value. It gives ping targets for Jaina, it gives you a couple of random legendary minions, and it gives you this nice 8/8 body from Syndragos itself. So what this deck has over the traditional Spiteful Mage decks that are a bit more elemental based is that this actually has much better threats. You're much better equipped to deal with control decks, you're in much better position trying to challenge something like a druid, for example, and use those threats to really deal some damage. Even in those cases when you're unable to grab that Spiteful Summoner. However, like with many Kelleset builds, especially ones that don't have Duskbreaker, the early game's a bit weak. So you do run the risk of getting overrun by something like an odd Paladin or a Zoolock. Those are the problematic matchups, those very aggressive matchups that also have the ability to go wide. Typically if they don't go really wide, then stuff like Scaleworm, Twilight Drakes, these good valuable minions will help you stabilize. But if they are able to get wide early, then it's much more difficult to catch up without any AoE. I played a couple of iterations of this deck. Most of the time I played with 8 dragons, but this is my final build of the archetype. It cuts down the number of dragons to 7. 7 seems to be the ideal number, because Scaleworm is the only thing that requires dragon activation. You don't need it that early, you only need it for 4, and you only have 2 cards that require it, so you don't have to hold on to those dragons for so long. And also some of the earlier builds that I played didn't play mind control tech, but with majority of my losses being to odd Paladins and Zoolocks, mind control tech just gives you a little bit of something to help with that. As for tech choices, I run weapon removal, I run double silence. I think double silence fits very nicely into this deck, and I run Mossy Horror. Well, it's a spreading play Giggling Inventor meta. I just put Mossy Horror in all of my decks basically right now. That's the way it goes. There's hardly any card draw in this deck. The only real card draw is the Glacial Shard Code Wraith combo, or Code Wraith if you're already Frostless Jaina and you're able to get some Water Elementals going. But it has been a relatively fun deck to play. Just a tiny bit more power would be needed for this one. Just something that the early game would be a little bit better. With the final inclusion that I did with the mind control decks, I started to get a bit better results. So I think that makes this deck playable at least. Even though it cannot really be recommended for a climb. When you mulligan with this deck, you need to think about what you're facing. You obviously always keep Prince Kelazeth. Everything else is basically conditional. Do you need to get on board very early? You might want to keep a Glacial Shard. You typically want to keep a 3-drop, but what kind of 3-drop? Are you facing a Zoo? Mind control deck at least is good. Sometimes you may even want to keep 2 3-drops, like something conditional like Mind control deck or Glutton of Zoos if you know that you're going to need that in the matchup, and something unconditional. You can play Gold Wraith without using it to draw a card too, just for those 3-4 stats. And then you expect that you need to get back on the board. You may want to keep a Scale Worm. There are some matchups where you want to keep Silence, like against a Hunter. And if you're facing something slower and you want to be the aggressor, then looking for Twilight Drake, Spiteful Summoner is the way to go. As always, I've prepared some gameplay material of this deck for you, so let's go take a look at how we shoot people in the face with Pyroblast. I might keep the Mossy against Druid because I expect there to be some spreading plagues. And I find myself a Spiteful Summoner. It seems nice. Ooh, and I find myself a Prince Kelazeth. So multiple options here. I think I'll go for a turn 1 Glacial Shard into Coin Kelazeth. Into not Coin Kelazeth, just Kelazeth. I'll prevent him from trading into the Glacial Shard immediately. Then I can get the Kelazeth out. I could have also saved the Glacial Shard for later, but I felt like I wanted to get on the board immediately. What? Is this some kind of spiteful deck? Interesting. Haven't seen Crypt Lord in a while. So with Spiteful deck it doesn't run the swipe, so I might as well attack here. But he probably does run Mind Control deck then.
The light protects me.
This looks like a Spiteful Druid. Very, very interesting. Next, if he has Fungal Mancer for next turn, that's huge. That would really be huge. I think I want to coin the Mossy Horror next turn, in case there's no Fungal Mancer. Let's try to play the Gold Wraith now. And coin Mossy. I'll try this, but if there's a Fungal Mancer, that can be an issue. Ah, too bad he had the Fungal Mancer. That was powerful. That was powerful indeed. So now coining Mossy is no longer so good. I could coin Spiteful Summoner next turn. I think I'll sacrifice this fellow and I'll play the Scalebane. I think this is okay. We'll see what we get from here. Coin Spiteful Summoner. So I get my Spiteful Summoner down before he gets his. If I do it like that. I can have a few minions buffing that. Oh, Spellbreak too. Lots of effort going into these now. Interesting. Well, it's going to be coin Spiteful. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens here. He could have a Spiteful Summoner of his own, which would be problematic. I also can't do Lich King yet next turn. If he has his own Spiteful, how big of a problem would that be? Okay, so far this looks alright. He didn't have a Spiteful, That's a piece of good news. 1 mana out from being able to play Mossy on these, if that's what I wanted to do. We can't UI yet though. I think I'll take the hit there and ping that one away now. Take a hit here, deny that biggest minion, and just play a Tar Creeper. I want to play around Mind Control tech, because this deck is definitely running 2 copies of Mind Control tech. Lich King is fine. I can afford to sacrifice this minion into a Lich King. Here we go into that Lich King. And I'll play my own Lich King. And do I clean up his board here? Yeah, I'm cleaning up this board now. Let's not leave him any board. So now I have a Lich King. And he does not. He has a Lich King card, obviously. So if it happens to be exactly Obliterate, then he can get a pretty sweet tempo gain from that. And next turn he can play Ultimate Infestation, which I believe he has in hand. But I'm able to play Jaina here. Alright, Battle of the Spitefuls. How intriguing. I'll play Jaina here and kill off the Kelazet. And now he could play UI. There are no super good targets for UI here. I mean, it needs to go into Water Elemental, but it goes to face. Interesting approach. Very interesting approach. So I still don't want him to be able to... Yeah, I think this is an anti-magic shell turn. It's Scalebane, Glacial Shard, freeze the 5/5 anti-magic shell and start pushing face. That's what this looks like to me. So we get the Scalebane out there. And I will have 3 minions, so I'm not within reach of the Mind Control tech either. I freeze his 5/5. I give these fellows some untargetable abilities and I start pushing. And now there is 21 on board. He might have some taunts, obviously. It's quite likely at this point. So I might not get to use the Pyroblast. He might have the second Mind Control tech in hand. That's also possible, so if I play minions... Hi, Artillery. No, he can still have outs here. Especially with the second Mind Control tech. Because this will require a Mossy Horror play. So I'll play Mossy. Do I just punch 13 to the face? Set up for potential lethal next turn with Pyroblast unless he hero powers or plays another UI. Though this has to be the Mossy. Too bad I can't really silence this one out of the freeze. But it's obviously a Mossy Horror turn. You smash all his taunts away. I actually set up a lethal. Yeah, we just do this. And he would have to play UI to prevent lethal from Pyroblast. UI is the only out. And UI can only be played on this minion. So I think he's just very, very dead. Excellent, we win the Battle of the Spitefuls. You have a 5 damage spell for 10 mana, you say? Well, I have a 10 damage spell for 10 mana. Boom. This can be a difficult matchup. I'm assuming on Paladin, although some people are playing the OTK Paladins now. Like we saw HGG, Netherlands won with OTK Paladin when their opponent misplayed terribly. But this is just the good old stuff. Well, I still have to open with the Glacial Shard, even though this is very, very weak, obviously. He can just hero power and start outvaluing me.
Reporting for duty.
Picking up another Glacial Shard though. But even then on 3, I still have to coin next turn. I will have to give him the initiative next turn. There's just no way around that. Yeah, I think I need to do this. I have to coin the Chain Gang next turn. So I have at least something that can potentially contest his board a bit. There just isn't any other line. This is the line. Because it's unlikely that he will be able to buff this significantly with 4 mana. It more comes down next turn at 5 mana, when he can do better things.
Reporting for duty.
There's still 1 Blessing of Might here, so he gets some stuff going. Still, it's a Blessing of Might that goes away from him, so I don't really mind, I guess. Next turn he could have stuff like Level Up. So I want to kill 1 here. And then I have a couple of options actually. Well, this kill is always happening. So I could Dark Reaper and Glacial Shard. Or I could Scale Worm. I kind of like the Dark Reaper Glacial Shard play. What do I Glacial Shard? A minion or his face? Let's say he has a weapon there. I think I need to Scale Worm. I think this is better. Because next turn I can also do Dark Reaper Ping, for example. Kill something small. But that was a powerful move. So let's see. I could silence this into a 2-5, then I could value trade it. Then I could Glacial Shard the Recruit. Or I could Glacial Shard the Fungalmancer. If the Recruit gets buffed. I think I need to try with something like this.
Your magic shall not save you.
Let's silence that fellow so that I can take a value trade. And Glacial Shard the Fungalmancer. So that the Recruit is the one that can try to trade this turn instead of anything else. Obviously a very difficult game and very difficult position.
Glory to the Sindori.
That was a fairly weak turn from him, and those are the types of turns I want to see. I can either remove a bunch of stuff or I can play a couple of minions. Next turn he can play the big weapon. I think that weapon will win him the game. Unfortunately I don't see a way to play around that one. Divine Cleaver. Divine Cleaver is probably going to win. This one trades here. I don't see how I'm beating Divine Cleaver. I just don't see how I'm beating Divine Cleaver. Hey, Divine Cleavers now hits the Twilight Drake and trades with the 2/2.
The light dims, but we fight.
Oostopdeck, yeah, obviously Oostopdeck would be a way to contest the Divine Cleaver. Well, I suppose it's Spiteful Summoner. So what else am I going to do? We need some stuff on the board. Let's get some stuff on the board. And next turn I can play Tar Creeper, Amalgam, and Ping. He can do level up plays now though and get a bunch of trees. But I can kill quite a few trees with the resources I have available. It's not the end of the world. He did not have the Vine Cleaver yet. Oh, he has Lost in Jungle. Yeah, so that's very strong. Obviously when you have that spell too and then the level up. That is some powerful stuff. I might still be able to wiggle my way through this, right? Because I'll ping the 1/1. But I'll start trading down this board. But I can get some stuff on this board too. So maybe I will get to Jaina. If he doesn't have another buff. He has spent one Fungal as a 1 level up. Does he have another one of either of those? That's really what can make this game for him now. More than the Vine Cleaver even. If he has another level up or another Fungal Mancer.
Reporting for duty.
He has another level up. Well, that is obviously very, very strong. Hey, sometimes they just draw like gods. What can you do? 10, 16 damage on board. Jaina doesn't help me. There are no outs. Yeah. That leaves me with keeping the Twilight Drake for some pressure. Hi, Kyuki. Druid keeps 2 cards, so there should be Wild Growth and Nourish. I don't think playing Glacial Shard does a lot here. Maybe I just don't play it yet. No, there's the Wild Growth. No, sorry that it bothers you, but that's the way it's intended to be. It will look better once I get the green screen. You can help that by subscribing and getting me closer to the sub goal. And then there will be a green screen and then you will never even know. I would expect him to play Nourish. Oh, or it can be this. I guess I died then. Feels bad, man. I suppose I'm dead. Next turn, Soul of the Forest. I just need to start killing these off now. I need to freeze his face. I need to freeze one of these, I guess. Let's try something like this. Well, this is not a great Soul of the Forest board actually, with just 3 minions. I just needed to play minions out there. Oh, that swipe though. That's a nice swipe. I don't think it's time for me to play Mossy yet. Not quite yet, right? No, not quite yet. It's Twilight Drake and then I will call in a ping on one of these. If he goes like Elegiggle and Power of the Wild, then it's Mossy Horror time. Because Elegiggle Power of the Wild would seem like a perfectly rational play in this position. Of course he can still build another board later. I suppose this is pretty strong too. But it's not yet the Mossy Horror time now, is it? Difficult. Need to start killing this stuff here. But yeah, I'm probably losing Token Druid. Token Druid is very, very strong against most types of mage decks right now. Why does he armor up though? I would have expected him. Oh, because of the Spellstone. Okay, I see. I was expecting him to attack, but I guess this works out. Well, that I didn't quite expect him to do that, so now I will lose my own minions if I play the Mossy. So I'm not playing the Mossy yet. I'm playing the Blood Knight. I'm taking away those Divine Shields. And then I'm going to kill a bunch of minions here. So that he doesn't have that strong board yet. And I have a 9/9. Soul of the Forest, obviously scary. We could even have more Wisps and then Soul of the Forest, and I guess that would probably be the end of me. These are not more Wisps though. That's cool. Too bad I don't have a dragon in hand. That would enable this 9 to go face. I guess I can enable the 9 to go face anyway though, by silencing this fellow now. Then I can push that 9 to his face. And I can play Gluttonous Ooze. And playing Gluttonous Ooze here is perfectly acceptable. So let's see when he finds his next big board. There's a UI. Fine. Well, that will get him a lot closer to his next big board. And I have a Spiteful Summoner. Or I have Jaina. I think I'm going with the Spiteful Summoner here. What if he has double roar? That's +6, so that's 12, 17, 18. It's not lethal. I would assume that next turn he gets something that I cannot really answer. If I push 12 to face now, and I have Spiteful on the board, that just seems like the best line. What can I get from this fellow here? I get a Mulch Muncher. Well, that's intriguing. Although maybe it's too weak, because he has means to kill the Mulch Muncher. Even though I got rid of the 5/5, so I brought an additional turn. He's going to play something and then Soul of the Forest here. He has a Spellstone left and a Swipe left too. Soul of the Forest can probably set up a lethal board. They would also need to kill some stuff, right? Because otherwise they'll just kill him with the Mossy. Soul of the Forest is not going to do it. No, this is lethal for me. How appropriate. Ha 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 ha. Smashy. And then it's face time. An acceptable victory. What if it's Combo Priest? Then I would need a silence. Well, we'll see. Here I think I'm actually keeping Jaina because it could be a slower priest deck. So he didn't play Cleric. Let's chill for a moment. I found a silence, that's good. Let's chill for a while longer here. No, it's OTK. That can be a problem. This is the Savages list. Even if I deny the coin, he can always just resurrect stuff. I think it's just Gluttonous Ooze now. I don't want to spend the coin yet. The Psychic Screams are a problem. And then all the resurrect stuff. Alright. I still think silencing this is too early. There are other things I may need to silence. So people playing Savage's list there too. Yeah, it's a fine list. You can play it. He's plans to resurrect Zoolock many times here. It's a decent enough plan. I'm killing the Zoolocks. I guess I'm freezing this fellow and drawing a card. It's good that Zoolock is in the resurrect pool now, because unless he gets the cloning gallery and has all the big stuff in the deck, then having Zoolock in that resurrect pool means that he might not be able to get the OTK. And if he can't get the OTK, that's good for me. It must be quite powerful. And the results are thoroughly mediocre with the deck. But yeah, with the right draws it can definitely win any deck. With the right combinations of draws, but overall it seems to be very mediocre. Let's see if we can get the Mulch Muncher. Maybe something else. Oh, he probably has an answer to Deathwing. I fully expect him to have anyway. If he plans to scream, he kills off his minion into Deathwing first, because he doesn't want to give the gargoyle to me. He wants to be able to resurrect the gargoyle on demand. On the upside, if he screams, then I just play another Spiteful Summon the next turn. Assuming that I don't draw Pyroblast here. Yeah, you can resurrect Zoolock. But what's the point? That seems like a rather weak point. Oh, Shadow or Death. Oh yeah, then it's a bit better. Fine. We kill this Zoolock and we play another Spiteful Summoner. Have you tried the deck yourself? I have planned. No, I'm not planning to. We get another Deathwing. He has spent the death, but he still has a Shadow Visions card there. There can be screams and stuff. Let's see. So I need to ration out my threats appropriately. He could kill this off and he could play the cloning gallery, but that would not be enough right now. It might, in best case scenario, even give him Lich King and stuff. Zoolock's back is obviously sweet. Do I go for the silence on the Zoolock so that I can punch 12 to the face? What if he has the cloning gallery? Mind Blast. That's a pretty freakish. That's a pretty freakish combination of cards that he could have there. I mean, I guess it's possible. By silencing this, I would play around him getting a copy of Velen and Malygos and doing things. But if he gets to draw a lot of cards, he eventually gets there anyway. So I think I'll just ask him the question whether he has it right now. Because if he cannot deal with the Deathwing, he will die. Or he could get like a Lich King, of course. But let's ask him that question. He needs the cloning gallery now to bring him Malygos and Velen. And then he needs some Mind Blasts. And then he's cool. What does Spirit Lash do? The first Spirit Lash would kill those minions. I guess if he can resurrect Zoolock again. He has already spent a Servitude. He has already spent one Spellstone. Does he have another Spellstone? No, but he has a Scream. I guess I'm cool with the Scream. Lich King doesn't quite threaten lethal because he can always heal his face enough. I think I need to play the Jaina.
Do not fear power. Fear those who wield it.
There's always the cloning gallery pulling both Velen and Malygos as an out. Now he has so many minions out there. Okay, I don't mind the Malygos. You just silence the Malygos. It's cool. Yeah, this Malygos can stay. Now he can't even get rid of this Malygos so that he could resurrect it again. But he can have those Spirit Lashes. He can still get a cloning gallery to get Velen or get a 5/5 Velen. I mean, there are outs for him, definitely. Especially those big spell damage Spirit Lashes. He finds the Ziliax. That's pretty sweet. And if he has a Spirit Lash, he needs to attack with the Ziliax first, so Spirit Lash doesn't take away the Divine Shield. I don't have the cleanest things going on here. Now he has spent 2 spellstones, but he still has 1 more spellstone left. He could kill this off with a Spirit Lash and then resurrect it again.
The time is now.
If I play Lich King. He can't do that if the Malygos is frozen though. I don't want him to be able to attack Malygos into Lich King so that he would be able to kill off his Malygos. So that he could resurrect it again. But Spirit Lashes can be a problem. I haven't seen a Spirit Lash yet. He only has 3 cards in hand in addition to the coins, of course. And with just the Velen, he cannot have enough damage to kill me with Mind Blasts. But if he can resurrect Velen, and he can do Spirit Lash with the resurrected Velen, that will kill off my board. Or summon Velen. So he needs Shadow Essence, or he needs the Cloning Gallery. Resurrecting doesn't do anything. Well, now I end up with Malygos in my deck, which is an interesting development. And he is at 18. I have a couple of options here. I can go for Scalebane and the Amalgam, or I could simply Pyroblast face. And then he needs to have Velen. If I Scalebane Amalgam and he can resurrect Ziliax again. It's probably Scalebane Amalgam anyway. Let's do this. Does the deck run Hymn? I'm not sure, I can't remember. It could run Hymn, I guess. So that is an option. And he has a bunch of coins. But now Velen is the only spell damage source. With Malygos gone. He has 1 Spellstone, he has 1 Servitude. Oh, but if you do this, then you're just dead. Well, we got that one. That was nice. Alright. This is going to be 2 again. I have Glacial Shard this time, so I have a 1-drop that I can play. He kept 3 cards, which is scary. Especially if there's a Void Walker. But this one can potentially challenge like a Light Warden. That's what it's here for.
Truth is found in death.
Okay, let's set. This was unfortunate that I don't have another play, because now he might be able to get a big tempo swing here. Flame Imp is fine. I guess Flame Imp Doctor is fine. They can kill Dark Reaper together though. Or a Gold Wraith. What is the turn 3 play? What if there's a... This one can also be Soul Fired. I think I'll go with the Dark Reaper. This was a very difficult choice, because what if he doesn't blindly attack into it? And instead does something else, and then this one cannot kill like a Void Walker here. Then again, if he just does this, then that's cool. I don't have a dragon for this. Alternatively, I could spell break this one now. Then I could have Gold Wraith and Ping next turn. I probably need to play the Gold Wraith. He can't buff this up properly yet. If I can top deck a dragon, I can get a 5/4 rush. This is why I'm playing with the dragons, this rush minion. For a large part, this is the reason. It is just so good. But I don't think I dare to take a chance that there is a Despicable Dreadlord in his hand. It's not very often played, but it's very scary. Then I can using a dragon now. Unable to ping next turn. Or unable to scale bomb next turn. It's also scary stuff. But I think I need to do it. I think I need the power from this right here. This one doesn't make me vulnerable to a Despicable Dreadlord. And with one minion, he's unlikely to play a Fungal Mensa here. If there's no Dreadlord, then there's still the tree one, together with this 4/5. That Kelaset is doing a lot of work here. I think this is the line here. I need to take control of this board at the moment. And I can do so by silencing that minion, so that I can ping it away. So then I will have control of the board with 2 minions. He obviously has plenty of resources in hand. But now I have a relatively strong board available to myself as well. He has used a lot of his healing cards, so maybe he doesn't find more. Then again, maybe he does. So, okay, this was a strong turn, obviously. I can afford to put this down to 1 health. There may be a Despicable Dreadlord, there may be not. But I think at the moment I can afford to put this down to 1 health. Rather than have a Scale Worm die. Then I will play the Scale Worm and I will play the Blood Knight. Because I want to have multiple minions on the board. He still has a lot of resources, 7 cards in hand. And now he has even more resources. Not a very good turn to play stuff like... Well, stuff like this is perfectly fine here. That was reasonably strong. Thanks to the Kelaset buff, Primordial Drake can't kill many minions in his deck. It can only kill a Librarian and Voodoo Doctors, and I've seen almost all of those already. Which basically means that I'm going to trade into these. And I'm going to play the Drake. What if he goes wide? What if he goes really wide? But none of that stuff dies to Drake anyway. It has to be the Drake. But now, yes, 7 cards in hand. That Solarium, he played all 3 Solarium cards last turn. That was so powerful. Now this is obviously a great power play. This is just an instant Lich King, right? I think this is just an instant Lich King. Let's see what I can pick up from the Lich King. Oh no, it's just a Death Grip. I really wanted something that can deal damage, clear boards, that sort of stuff. Well, he still needs 1 more point of damage to kill the Lich King. I suppose it's coming from there somehow. It's not. Some kind of lethal setup? Interesting. I have only 18 damage, I can't kill him. Silence into lethal. There is potential for lethal next turn. Let's say Leroy Soulfire. I'm dead. I'm probably just dead. Death Gripping from his deck seems unlikely to win the game. I think I need to do this. But I'm dead to Leroy Soulfire now. Because this gives me a chance to find something again. But Leroy Soulfire, that's the lethal. So no lethal, but unfortunately two attempts with the Lich King and both failed. That sucks. The Lich King is here to win me games like this. All it needs is to give me 1 good card and I win. But it didn't. Don't think I can Death Grip anything in good enough and then I will lose. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the show, please click the like button and subscribe to my channel for more.